Hello and welcome to OptimisticWellness.com, the real story interview series. And today I am delighted to have the lovely, the talented Melissa Villasenor
Oh, thanks. Oh,
and her cat.
and my
Yes.
cat. I'm sorry.
All
She
right.
like whenever she hears people talking, she always wants to know what they're talking about. She always gets curious.
She's beautiful.
I thought,
What's her name?
oh, thanks. She was actually just watching TV right now. No, down. Oh, well, if she's here, then she just wants to.
That's okay. We welcome her.
Okay,
Uh,
thanks.
to introduce Melissa,
Yeah.
Melissa Villasenor has made comedy her life's work. She was on America's Got Talent, where that's where I first heard about her and her work. And she doesn't just do celebrity impressions. She also makes great YouTube covers of songs, and she writes her own sketches too, and does like one-woman comedy shows and all these cool things. Some of her characters are very eccentric. Recommended viewing. Melissa Villasenor, she knows how to express herself through comedy, and she does it well. So thank you, Melissa.
No, thanks, Josh. That's really nice of you to say. Thank you so much.
All right.
That really means a lot that you know all those different things about me, not just impressions. So that thank you so much.
Absolutely. So let's get started. And I always like to start with more early, childhood stuff. So you
Yeah.
actually said it was a little difficult growing up. I was always pretty shy as a little girl, and that sounds weird when I say it, but my parents were pretty strict too. So I didn't really go out a lot. So I just stayed in my room and worked on voices. So how has that experience affected you, not just as a comedian, but as a person?
Um, let's see. Well, for comedy reasons, it was good because that was my way of finding I wanted to be a comedian was to make fun of all that stuff. But um, um, what was it like for me growing up? Just besides,
Yeah.
well, it was. I'm glad the way it happened. I'm glad that it happened because I like the person I am today. So I really don't have any regrets or anything. Um, but growing up, yeah, I mean, it was tough when like having strict parents or having a really like uh, kind of controlling mom. I think made things kind of like, stop it, get out of the way. Now I'm controlling Ella. Um, yeah, I mean it was, and I went to an all-girls school too, so it was even more like very sheltered way of growing up, which has its ups and downs, but in the end, it worked out fine, and I got to find out what my passion was by being home a lot and being alone, I think, and that was what was pretty cool. Gosh, so sorry, Josh. I'm so sorry.
No, I love it. It's really
No,
cool.
I'm gonna block the computer now with my hands. So, no, I mean, there was when I was 19 years old. I was kind of, I guess, very mellow because I felt really sad that I socially it was hard to hang out with people and not really understand people, I guess, or hang out with people often. So that could have that caused a little problems for me, but really no big deal. I mean, I'm like I said, I'm doing really awesome, so yeah,
Uh-huh. And
can't
and as
complain.
we and it turns out as we progress in life, sometimes those little quirks or eccentricities that we
No,
had
it's all
back then, they turn out
yeah,
to be like advantageous to us, especially like as a
yeah,
comedian.
yeah. I think I'm actually now like I look back on everything and like wow, I love that I had my life like every like it's I'm really thankful. I grew up in a good way and yeah, no, nothing very bad. So I can't complain. And it all helped me with my comedy career and yeah, and my artistic side, I guess too.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
yeah, and you're a very proactive person in pursuing your comedy.
Thanks.
You book yourself at the comedy clubs, always recording a bunch of sketches and doing all those things. So where do you think this that follow your dreams mentality came from? Were you born with it, or did it arise and come with the territory of pursuing your passion of comedy?
Well, I mean, when I was 12, I realized I can do impressions, and I guess once I found out that I, you know, had a gift for that and I enjoyed making people laugh with it, I guess I realized, wow, that's what I want to be. I want to be a comedian, and I knew very well when I was 12 that's what I was going to do in life. Just, and it was so clear in my face. And then I guess I don't know if it was something that maybe I mean my parents are both really hardworking people and really determined and focused and motivated. So that could be a part of me just naturally that I just got so connected with my goals and everything and just never stopped believing and never stopped like working hard at it. I guess that's just always been, I don't know. And yeah. Yeah, but I like to do things on my own, and I like that I'm in control of a lot of the things I create. So it's it's definitely cool. I like having that. So
It's
yeah.
excellent. It's good to be in control of your creativity.
Yeah, yeah. I don't. Yeah. A while back, I thought maybe people would be able to help me out, and then that's no one gets anywhere by anyone helping you. It's. I mean, of course, a lot of people help you along the way and support you, but you, in the end, are the person that gets the work done. And if you want to be somewhere,
Yes,
you know.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Other people can only take you so far, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So, anyways, so you see your impression videos, the stand-up videos, and then you see these completely wacky and hilarious sketches like Marianne's inappropriate crochet lesson, Don Way, and I
You
have
watch those cool
yes, I did,
things.
and I have to ask, where do these ideas come from? I'm really curious.
Okay, well, the Don Way one, that's an old one. Not many people have seen that character, but it's one of my favorites. He was actually my aunt's ex-husband I would imitate all the time. I don't think he ever knew, but he's a very weird a really funny guy, and really weird and bizarre, and I always would imitate him like, yeah, what's up, everyone, what's up? And then I would just make fun, like make my whole family laugh with that impression, and so I made that my own character. And then Marianne was just, I was trying to actually learn how to crochet, and I was looking up YouTube clips of old ladies to teach to learn so I can learn how to crochet. And then and that's when I just came up with a character named Marianne. And then she has inappropriate crochet lessons and slips out really like dirty things while she's trying to teach someone crochet.
Yeah, it's a great parody.
Thanks. I'm
Yeah.
glad you like those because that's what I'm kind of focusing right now too. Is I want to, get more original characters under my belt because I have I have so many impressions, and I've been doing impressions for over 10 years. So that's my next chapter is original characters right now, and stories in my stand up too.
Yes,
So
yes. Yeah. Honing your own creativity rather than, the other doing
hmm
impressions of others.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I can see where you're coming from on that. That's yeah, it's important. So on that same note, you also mentioned that I read that you like being alone, you like talking to yourself, which let's face it, in modern society, that's a pretty phenomenal character trait. Uh, so you actually on that note you made a one woman show.
hmm
Could you talk about it? It's called I'm Not Myself.
Oh
And maybe what
yeah.
inspired you?
Well, let's see. I I guess I was always inspired by a lot of different artists in the past and present that have had one woman shows, and I thought, man, I could totally carry a whole show on with myself and just my all my impressions, and I wanted to do the same, so I set out that goal. I believe the beginning of last year, and I had my friend Ron Lynch. He's also a comedian. He helped direct and produce it, and we started working on it. And then as America's Got Talent happened, we had to just push it aside because I got so busy, but then I finally got back to it, and yeah, I'm Not Myself was I had 4 shows of it, and I'll probably bring it back too once I have more time. And yeah, I'm Not Myself is basically about me being in a mental hospital, and I guess I'm alone, so the whole time I'm just entertaining myself with all my characters, so I don't feel alone. And I kind of go through just different sketches and songs as different impressions, and I mean it's a pretty. I'm really proud of that accomplishment, and it was really really cool. Thanks for hearing about that, and did you? I kind of actually I want to next time I bring it back. I'll probably tape it and put on my YouTube too, so
That's what
people can see.
I
You
was
know.
gonna ask about
Yeah.
that. Maybe like a DVD or YouTube. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think I'm gonna try to do that. Oh man, that reminded me. Thanks. Yeah, I think Ron
All
wants me
right.
to do it on the 25th at his tomorrow show. So I'm still figuring that out, I guess. But either way, yeah,
Absolutely.
I'll tape it.
Absolutely cool. So, Melissa, in your daily life, what have some of the pros and cons been, of being a comedian? Like, maybe it changes your view on situations, or maybe you get frustrated if people expect you to be funny or do impressions all the time when you just feel like being
Oh
Melissa.
yes, yeah. That it's any comedian will say it's it gets kind of annoying.
Yeah.
I mean, like any person, that's even though I'm doing what I love to do, it's sometimes it can be a job at times, and sometimes I just want to break and even if I'm acting serious around people, they're like, "Wow, what's wrong?" And I'm like, nothing's wrong. It's just I'm just enjoying myself and being quiet for a moment. Like I don't doesn't mean I need to be yelling or be funny. So that any any artist I think would agree that I mean can be hard. But I mean sometimes family get-togethers, if we're all having a good time. Of course, like I'll you know have a good time and maybe imitate some people in the family, and I love that stuff. It's just I think it has to be at the right time or whatever I'm
Yeah,
feeling. Sure.
absolutely. Yeah, because we're all human, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Definitely.
Definitely.
So, Melissa, so overall, oh, another thing. You also
Yeah.
mentioned that you like performing everywhere. I saw this on a video from America's Got Talent. Even in places where people might look at you strange for performing. And me personally, like I am a huge proponent of the whole social courageousness movement that's been going on. Uh, so how'd you get into that? Like the whole and where do you get the courage to do that? Because it's really interesting.
Well, when I started doing stand up around 1920, yeah, when I was like 19 years old, I just started, seeing all these other comedians and how they work, and how comedians work is that like they do a couple shows every night, doesn't like open mics to book shows. They'll just go from spot to spot around town. And I remember, well, I was still living with my parents at the time, and it's like 40 minutes away, so I couldn't really do that. I mean, and once I finally moved out of my parents' house, that's when I was like, wow, I finally am getting to do like what all the other comedians are doing, because especially with comedy, you got to be performing all the time and writing every day and really hustling. That's what stand-up really requires, sacrificing, a lot of time from hanging out, like just a lot of doing shows and stuff. So yeah, and I love it. It's fun. Some nights I'll perform at a comedy club, sometimes a theater, sometimes a coffee shop. Last Tuesday I performed in my friend Eli Olsberg's show at Pleasure Chest. It's a sex shop, and
Interesting.
it's a very it's a very very funny show. And I mean a lot of great comedians have been performing there too, and so it's doing really well. But I love it. I something about being at an open mic or a coffee shop and a comedy club and big theaters. It's so good. It's so important to have a range of different shows that you perform at, not just the same ones. So, and there's so many different audiences too. You got to really um, be versatile in so many different venues and stuff and crowds. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
good.
How does
Yeah.
how awesome, how cool is it like when there's like a standing ovation?
Oh man. That's that. I mean, it's a very like warm feeling inside like my heart that when that happens because I
Yeah.
it just it shows me that I've touched each and every one of them in some way, like emotionally, and that's I think that's lately that's what I've been going for my shows. I just want to connect with the crowds and also inspire audiences. Lately, I've been on my college tour. You knew about that, right? I
Yes.
think so.
Yes, I did.
I've been yeah, I've been on doing a lot of colleges right now, all over the U.S., performing at colleges, and that's definitely been pretty awesome. I want to get that message across when I perform that I'll, since they're so young, really focus on what you want to do in life and follow your heart because it's so important, and not just feel you know, like if your parents are saying be something or do that, just really, really listen to what you want to do. And so, yeah, it's been cool.
It's a good
So yeah, so
message.
standing ovations. I got one on Monday actually in Kansas at Friends University. They all gave me a standing ovation, but it was just a really fun show. It was really really fun. So it's cool.
Cool. So would you say all of this stuff, um, in the crowded world of tweets, music, noises, Facebook, Twitter, distractions, everywhere, you stand firm by your comedy. Like this, I looked at your site, I looked at your videos, and this is really what you do. Like I see you're really passionate about this. And in
Thanks.
one of your actually this wasn't an interview. This was actually one of your blog posts. You wrote there was no reason to bother looking in anything else to find happiness. I found it. And that was just it was just really powerful when I read it because here I am. I'm looking at you. You seem to have found your passion, something that so many people are still looking for.
Yeah.
Uh, so what to conclude this interview, what final maybe words of advice would you give to the people who maybe are struggling with resources, maybe struggling with social support, or just feeling down on themselves because of some situations in their life that are in their control or out of their control? Kind of a loaded question there, but
No, no. I mean, I mean, I'm still figuring out things on my own and everything. I just that's I there's so many. Yeah, it's so difficult because so many people can be in such sticky situations in their lives and they're not happy and they're not doing what they love and it's it bothers me seeing that when someone's unhappy, at a job and they don't that's not what they even want to do. And it's hard, but I just would, say to that person, work on do your job during the day and then whatever free time you have, explore, do things that that interest you, that like spark your interest and you're like, oh wow, I want to go try that. Oh, I'm going to go try that. I'm going to go I don't know, just let's say go hiking. I'm going to draw this picture. Just if you have this sort of craving of like creativity or something that just is telling you want to do something, listen to it and pursue it and try different things out. And then I mean, every person is blessed, I think, with something, and it just takes a while to figure out what it is that you're gifted with. And once you find it too, it's just and then you're going to love it. Just keep pursuing that on your free time because, like me, I did like plenty of part-time jobs. I was working at Marie Callender's, a miniature golf course, temp jobs, help my parents out, whatever. I mean, it's just some money just to get by. But on the free time, my nights, any free time I had off, I was writing and I was doing shows for free for, a few years. So if you want something, just know that it's going to require a lot of time and a lot of work and a lot of effort. But if you love it, that's all that matters. Just keep on going and just trust me that once all that hard work's gonna pay off and you're gonna get to where you want to be. So I mean, yeah, just keep on believing and you'll be happier too. and just keep thinking about your happiness and what you want, because you're important and you matter, and don't listen to negative people or any of those people that are bringing you down. Get rid of them, because they're not important, and they're not going to help you in any way. So surround yourself by positive people that are, on their way and that are working hard also. So I've realized it's a good to be surrounded by a nice environment. So
That
yeah.
was a beautiful message, Melissa.
Oh man, no
That was
thanks.
beautiful. I need to play a D chord just for that message. That was
Hey,
really great.
cool. Hey, do you play guitar, Josh?
Yes, yes, I do.
Maybe you could teach me some. I just bought a guitar. I'm really bad, but I'm trying to learn chords right now, because I've always had an interest, especially because I like to sing. I want to learn how to write songs too. So,
All
uh,
right, all
but
right,
I'm really bad at guitar. But slowly, I'll work on it. So,
all right. Well,
so
Melissa Villasenor, thank you so much for
Josh,
stopping
thank
by.
you. You rock, man. Thank you.
I do what I can, but Melissa, you are
Nah,
awesome.
keep
Thank you
keep in
so
touch.
much.
Keep in touch. Let me know what you're up to and stuff, and we could Skype again for sure anytime.
Absolutely. It was just awesome interviewing Melissa Villasenor, and you can find out more about her at melissavcomedy.com, or you can check out her Tumblr at melissavcomedy.tumblr.com. Thanks, Melissa, and optimism is the only way.